السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
عليكم السلام.
سوف أقرأ على مسامعكم الكلمة الإنجليزية للبيان السياسي لهذه الوقفة المشرفة الأحوازية في العاصمة البلجيكية بروكسل. A comprehensive political statement issued by Ahwazi political organizations and human rights and cultural institutions on the occupation of Al-Ahwaz, to the steadfast struggling women of Al-Ahwaz, to the resilient men of Al-Ahwaz, and to the free people of the world defending dignity and justice. On this painful subcontinental, we commemorate together 100 years since the occupation of our Ahwazi homeland, which until April 20th, 1925 was an independent and sovereign Arab state before invading by the Iranian state in a forced military operation that imposed a settler occupation still weighing heavily on our land to this day. This occupation carried out by force of arms was never a passing incident in history, but rather a dark chapter of repression, ethnic cleansing, and racial discrimination imposed on a people who have never abandoned their identity or their legitimate right to self-determination and to live with dignity on their land. Throughout this century, our Ahwazi Arab nation have faced systematic policies aimed at uprooting them from forced displacement, erasing their language, assassinating their culture, to political execution, mass arrest, deliberate impoverishment and illiteracy, as well as the drying of rivers, environmental destruction, and looting of natural resources. All of this has occurred and continues under a false legal cover that bears no relation to justice and do not recognize human dignity. Despite these prolonged operations, the flame of the resistance has never died. From the moment of occupation, Al-Ahwaz never fought. Its people resisted oppression with ideas, reason to resolve and then to home. It is outrageous. Has been revolted and national forces organized their responsibility at home and exile to carry the Ahwazi flag to the world and revive the voice of people who have not seen the people. Today, as we mark the centennial of the occupation, with a peaceful and other oppressed non-Persian nations are the best alternative to the tyrannical regime of Iran and are partners in any future that ensures the right of people to determine their own destiny. We declare our demand as follows according. Fundamental demands of the Ahwazi Arab people. First, international recognition that Al-Ahwaz is an Arab land occupied since 1925 and that its people have an inalienable right to self-determination according to the UN resolution, particularly the resolution 1514, an end to the Iranian occupation and the full restoration of Ahwazi national sovereignty in accordance with the international and humanitarian law. Immediate release of all Ahwazi political detainees, an end to political execution and cessation of coerced confession, an end to a demographic change and forced displacement policies, return of displaced people to their homes, and guaranteeing indigenous people right to land, employment, and education. Fifth, launching an independent international investigation into Iranian regime crimes against the Ahwazi people, including ethnic cleansing, environmental crimes, field execution, and systematic human rights violations. Six, seizing the organized looting of Al-Ahwaz resources, such as oil, gas, and water, and preventing them using funding terrorism and Iran suspicious nuclear project, calling on the European Union, the United States, and other influential countries to take concrete steps that are including freezing revenues from resources extracted from Al-Ahwaz, allocating these revenues to support the oppressed nations and empower them to build their national institutions. 8. Urging the European Parliament to open official communication channels with the representatives of the Ahwazi nations and other people under Iranian dominance, and to develop a fair international project to end internal colonialism and build a stable Middle East. 9. Inviting international human rights institutions to cooperate with Ahwazi organizations to document the crimes and present to the before its historic responsibility to stand either on the side of the freedom or to be complicit in the continued oppression. Glory to Al-Ahwaz. Freedom to our Ahwazi prisoner. Freedom to our Ahwazi prisoner. Immortality for our martyr. Victory for our Ahwazi nation who accept nothing but dignity and sovereignty. This statement was issued by a political organization and human rights and cultural institutions such as Ahwazi Democratic Front, Arab Front for Liberation of Ahwaz, Ahwazi Democratic Popular Front, Patriotic Arab Democratic Movement in Al-Ahwaz, PADMAS, Ahwazi Assembly, the Arab Struggle Movement for the Liberation of Al-Ahwaz, Solidarity Party of Al-Ahwaz, Human Rights Organization and Culture, Ahwazi Organization for Human Rights, Al-Shuruq Al-Ahwaziyya Foundation, Ahwazi Center for Media and Strategic Study, and finally Ahwazi Center for Human Rights. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Down, down, Iranian regime!
Down, down, Iranian regime!
Down, down, Iranian regime! Freedom for Al-Ahwaz!
Freedom for Al-Ahwaz!
Freedom for Al-Ahwaz!
Freedom for Al-Ahwaz!